Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday. I am up. I'm getting ready to go have breakfast. We're going to go to a really neat place. So I'll take you along with us. And then we're going to go to Tombstone in a bit. So it's going to be an exciting day. So, an exciting vlog. So, yes, so I'll see you more in a bit. Hi, I am at the...
I can't have that. Can I, Stacy?
No.
Baked oatmeal?
No oatmeal. I am at a place called the Breakfast Club.
She likes to vlog.
Bisbee Breakfast Club. It was shown on Arizona highways a few weeks ago. And the menu looks yummy. Now I'm trying to decide what I'm going to have.
What do you usually get, Stacy?
There's 4 waters for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any number of things.
You want something to drink
I
other
think
than
I'm
water?
going to have the California.
Iced tea?
Yes.
Iced tea?
Do you have cranberry juice?
Cranberry, small or large?
Large.
I'll have a large iced tea, unsweetened.
Okay. You guys need any sweetener?
Nope.
Okay, I'll be back.
That sounds good.
The California is the best, and then I don't have any cheese on
California what?
it. Omelet.
Oh?
It's got bacon on it.
Or, did you see your eggs there? You could have your feta cheese.
Oh, that's true. That's better. Maybe I'll have that. That's better.
What's the egg Zorba?
Read it.
Oh.
Right down there.
Spinach, olives, onions, tomato, and feta cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you like feta cheese,
I
Stacy.
love feta cheese. And it goes great with spinach.
Does?
Mm-hmm. And that's probably pretty healthy. I would have that.
I'm not too fond of feta cheese.
Well, tell them to leave the cheese off.
Well, don't get it.
Well, don't get it. You don't have to get it.
Yeah.
I'll just get the Big Fortune.
I think I'll have the Big Fortune too. Eggs, hash browns, and bacon, and English muffin. What are you doing, girl? Vlogging my food.
What?
An hour or so.
An hour, hopefully. So we're heading east on Grant, and we're going to get on I-10 shortly to go to Tombstone.
Actually, we have to go through Benson.
Well, we have to go through Benson, and then we'll be in Tombstone. So we'll talk to you a bit.
Do I need to get in the left?
Well, we're on this road, heading to Tombstone. We're on a countryside road, and look at it with all the trees, all the... Pretty, yes. So now we're going to be heading to Tombstone. So we'll show you when we get there.
We just passed through St. David.
Like Chris says, we just passed St. David.
Oh, we went through Benson, we went through St. David, and now we're on our way to Tombstone.
City that never dies or sleeps, or whatever you call it. We are heading to Main Street. We're going to be here for a few hours. So you'll see a lot of good pictures from here. Lots of good pictures. So we'll take you along. Right over there. Right over there is the Tombstone courthouse. Lots of motorcycles. Main Street, Tombstone Main Street. We're at the OK Corral gunfights. It was for. Place called Miss Kitty something restaurant.
The Longhorn.
The Longhorn Saloon. I think I'm gonna go with BLT, but without the tomatoes, of course. And
What are we going to have to drink here?
I know I want ice water.
Water?
Do you have lemonade? I'll have lemonade. Oh no, I saw. Oh yes, sarsaparilla. I have that instead of lemonade.
A large iced tea, unsweetened.
I'm being bad, but you know what? It's my birthday weekend, and I don't even care. So I'm going to go over the sarsaparilla.
What the hell do you mean?
Huh?
Never mind.
So I'm going to have a sarsaparilla and ice water, and I think I'm going to go with a BLT without tomatoes. Or I might do grilled cheese and have them add the bacon to it. So, oh, thank you.
Do we need a minute to Charles?
I think so. Do you?
We doing okay? My napkins?
Here's my drink. I'll talk to you guys more in a bit. Lunch, I'm having grilled cheese and bacon, french fries, and there's some ketchup for my fries, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and eat my lunch and walk around some more.
Never mind. No, here. Say it. That's how you do it.
I love it. I love it. And look, that table is even reserved for wide herb. Yeah, he reserved for him. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Carol.
Carol, happy birthday to you.
Thank
Want to
you.
take a picture of you blowing it out? Oh, you got it. There we go. Happy birthday, Carol.
Thank you.
32 hours to get to Phoenix.
32 hours to get to Phoenix, which is the same as Scottsdale, right?
Pretty much. I'll take those tickets up here, my lady.
All right.
And that's only if you caught the express to Tucson. Gotta get closer, honey. I can't get any further down than this.
Okay, we could do that.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, the express to Tucson was 17 hours. If you didn't catch the express, it was only 3 days and 48 head of horse to get to Tucson.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
That's all. Okay. I'm for
Yeah,
that.
you figure that El Paso is 4 days from here. Yuma is 7 days from here. Kind of makes you happy for that 75-mile-an-hour freeway now, don't it?
Yes.
All right, y'all, on that noble note, we're going to go ahead and get started. I would like to welcome everybody back there to Tombstone. Welcome you aboard the old Tombstone Tours. My name is Preacher Tom. I'm going to be your driver, narrator, and part-time irritator. For those of you that ended up in this bench here, you're in my backward seat. Just remember, folks, I am actually watching where we're going. And if you're back there watching where we've been, keep that in mind when I'm talking about my right and left. Now, let me introduce you to the big guys out in front. Going to do all the hard work for us today on the right-hand side of the coach up here. His name is Wheat. He is a blonde Belgian draft horse, and he weighs in about 2,500 pounds. Over here on the left, that's our Leroy. Leroy is a Percheron draft horse. He's actually French. That boy weighs every bit of 2,700 pounds. They can push 3.5 times their own body weight. Chances are pretty good you're going to hear me talking to them out on the tour. Now, y'all just sit back and relax while the boys and I take you back over 140 years. Leroy. That was 1879 when Tombstone became a city, and before we were even 3 years old, we'd already had 2 major fires. On the left right there on that corner, world famous Crystal Palace, built the year we became a city, the Golden Eagle Brewery. Surviving the fire of 1881, it burned in the fire of 82. That was rebuilt in less than a month, and then the Crystal Palace since June of 1882. Now keep it in mind while I tell you about the ambush of Virgil. Left-hand side there's the Oriental Saloon. That's where the Oak brothers controlled the Pharaoh. And on the right is a branding iron, which was the Bucket of Blood Saloon. Happened on the night of December 28, 1881, a couple of months after the gunfight. Marshal Virgil come out of the Oriental to make his nightly rounds. Headed for the brewery, and shots rang out from above the Bucket of Blood. A couple of those actually hit him in his left shoulder, and he lost use of the arm the rest of his life. But Virgil never quit being a lawman. He died the age of 62, had the nickname the One-Armed Law Dog in 1905. Wyatt spent the last 10 years working for Hollywood. He passed away at the age of 81 in 1929. Now on the right with that pretty lady, that's a Birdcage Theater. They had their grand opening a week before the ambush of Virgil, 21st of December, 1881. They operated straight through to 1889. They never even bothered closing the doors. They had the world's longest running poker game go on, right down in the basement. And it didn't matter one bit, cost $1,000 to buy into that game, was documented to have a minimum of 4 men round that table. 8 years, 5 months, and 3 days non-stop, with an estimated $10 million changing hands. And every eye roller that they played in that game, even William Randolph Hearst, graced that table. And it is still set up down in the basement. Matter of fact, everything in the Birdcage came from right here in Tombstone back during our heyday. from the books on down to our horse-drawn hearse. Now, it's called the Black Mariah. There were only 8 of those bent glass hearse ever built. Well, the one in there, even after hauling 100 folks to their graves, it is the last of its kind and worth over $2.5 million. Now, on the right there's a mercantile store, and that was the Arcadia Saloon, the site of our first fire. June 1881. Happened after a couple of brilliant bartenders checked the sour barrel of whiskey. One of them had a lit cigar, and 66 buildings burned. Well, out the right back behind the Crystal Palace, there's a tombstone at the top. It was late in the year 1879 that our first elected mayor, an Indian Affairs agent by the name of John P. Clum, got to town. Well, he told the folks here, there's no tombstone complete without its epitaph. And May 1st, 1880,
Chris, can you
founded
see me
that
wearing those
newspaper.
glasses?
It is still in
You see me
print.
wearing that red dress?
On the right now is Red Buffalo. That was Campbell and Hatch Billiards. In there, March 18th, 1882, Morgan's playing a game. Outlaws shot through the back door, assassinated Morgan by shooting him in the back, and the Earps left town. Now, out the right and up over that fence, there's Sheplin's Hall on the corner of 4th and Fremont. That's where Wyatt met Josie. On the right on this corner, Arlene Southwest, Hafford's Liquor Store. Well, this is where the Earps pick up Holiday on the way to that gunfight. But they don't go down Allen like we are. They turn right and go over that block to Fremont. Today, that's Highway 80. They won't let us drive horses on the highway. Earp shot to that corner, turned left and went to the alley, and I'll tell you more about that after the old-time photos on the right. And the wine tasting room. See, that was the Can restaurant, owned and operated by
Hi,
a
Mr. Wyatt.
Chinese fella, humanitarian by the name of Quan Chi. Man so respected here, died in Douglas. They buried him in Bisbee. And 3,000 folks from here went and got him. You'll find Quan Chi in Boot Hill. Well, on the right there's the OK Corral, not where the gunfight happened. Out the right in the back of the park there's a telephone pole. It is the other side of the wall. That's where those 5 cowboys were in that 15-foot wide alleyway. They had the Earps and Knock out there on Fremont. 2:30 in the afternoon. There was 30 seconds worth of gunfire. And in the end, Ike Clanton and Billy Claiborne survived by running away. Billy Clanton's dead in the alley. Tom and Frank McLaury, they died by the stop sign block to the right. Virgil Morgan and Holiday are wounded. Wyatt walked away without a scratch. Newspapers called it the gun battle on Fremont. And on the left, the Four Deuces Saloon was the home of Addie Borland, the Earps eyewitness. It stood directly across Fremont from that alley. They moved it there in '92 and left again the red and black one under the trees. That was the home of China Mary. And welcome to Chinatown. It is both sides of the coach. 300 registered Chinese living in these 2 blocks. And every one of them under China Mary's watchful eye. The woman was a member of the Tong, the Chinese syndicate. She ran Chinatown, and if you were Chinese and wanted to work here, had to pay her off just to get the job, and then pay her every week you work. She also operated the opium trade and died a wealthy woman. China Mary's in Boot Hill. Well, take a look out the right now, folks. 16 miles out there, those are the Dragoon Mountains. That's where the Apache war chief Cochise had his stronghold. That was 1862 until 1874, time that most of us call the Indian Wars. That is when Cochise and only 27 of his warriors from the Chiricahua band of Apache, well, they held the entire 3rd Cavalry from Fort Huachuca Bay up in them hills. They even put about 100 soldiers into the ground and never lost a warrior. Oh, there's lots of stories told how that conflict ended. I believe he escaped with his men to the Chiricahua Mountains where they documented his death. But Cochise was so revered by his people, they brought his body back to the stronghold. He's buried out in the Dragoons today in a grave no white man will ever find. Now, out right and across the street, big brown building on the corner, got that gray truck out front. That is where the home of Herb Gillard stood till 1996 when we lost it in a fire. But you cross Fremont on that corner of First, why its home is still standing. And there's a 9-foot bronze statue of Wyatt in his yard. You'll find it on the highway pretty easy. Holiday, well, the man never actually owned property, save on a poker table. And when he left out here with Kate, they made it all the way to Prescott and parted ways. Doc going on to Glenwood Springs, Colorado at the age of 36. He died there 1887. Now on the left, that tan building belonged to another lawman out of San Antonio. Texas John Slaughter. May have stood a 5'2" and had a size 5 cowboy boot, but that man was made sheriff multiple times. He had the reputation if you run from Texas John, he didn't bring you back. He'd just bring back your boot, saddle, hat, and gun belt to prove he got his man. Well, on the right there's a home of Doc Goodfellow. I'll get right back to him. Take a look at the chains on top of that rock wall. You're going to see the wear on them. These are the original drag chains. Come off the very first set of 9-ton ore carts that operated out of Tombstone. Those carts always came in sets of 3, and those got here 1877. There was a whole bunch more just like them showed up shortly thereafter. We had over 25 mines open up in these hills to the right before we even became a city. None of that ore got processed here. We haven't got the water. They brought in those 9-ton carts and run it all down to the San Pedro River. Now, the house back there did belong to our doctor, and that's George Emery Goodfellow. Physician, surgeon, gunshot specialist before the man ever got here. 25 in 1880, not the 60 Hollywood made him. After working on everybody in that gun battle on Fremont, they made him county coroner as well. Now, on the right between this stop sign and fence, we had our only lynching. Strung up John Heath there, and he was an outlaw that lived right here in town. Well, it was the end of November 1883. John took himself a trip to Bisbee and found a store with an awful lot of cash on hand. He was getting ready to rob the place, and somebody recognized him, so he come back. He had 4 of his friends rob the store while he waited and led the posse in the wrong direction. But the 4 of them shot and killed everybody. It's called the Bisbee Massacre. It didn't even take 2 hours for the posse to arrest John, and he gave them up. The very next day, everybody involved is locked up in the courthouse on the right. Now you look out the right up over that brick wall, there's the gallows where his 4 buddies died, but not John. Wasn't part of the gunfire, got 20 years hard labor in Yuma, locked him up in the courthouse. The very next day, Tombstone busted him out, drug him to the pole, strung him up by hand. Took that man over 20 minutes just to die, and C.S. Fry got a picture of that one, which is hanging in the courthouse right next to his death certificate. Our county coroner just happened to be in that lynch mob, and showed he had a sense of humor when he broke down that John Heath had died of emphysema of the lungs, possibly caused by high altitude or strangulation. Now on the left there's home Allen English. That stained glass on his front porch is the original glass. Came from Paris, France, got here early 1882. Well, even with the 7.2 earthquake in this town, that glass still remains unbroken today. Now, let me tell you about our founder, Mr. Edward Lawrence Shefflin, and Shefflin all got named for him. Well, Ed was a scout for that 3rd Cav down on Fort Huachuca for years. Told the Army in 75 he was coming here to prospect. They looked at him and said, Ed, when you lose your mind? You already know about them hostile Apaches in the hills. You know messing around up there, you're only going to find a tombstone. 1876 found the $85 million worth of silver. 77 opened that first mine, called it the Tombstone for them naysayers on the fort. 2 short years later, got 2,000 folks living here. They incorporated as a city and took the name of the first mine. Out to right there's our city library, built in 1903 as the railway depot, and the Southern Pacific operated here until 1958. On the right now is our Rosebush Museum. The roses in that backyard. It was 1885 when a young Scottish newlywed planted that 6-inch cutting of the Lady Banks rose. Well, by going through the museum today, you end up under the world's largest rose tree, and that is according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Been in that book every year since 1945. Blooms every April. On the left, there's our Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center, Tombstone's first adobe building, built by a gentleman named Pi Allen. And Allen Street we're going to turn back onto. It got named for him. Now, our Visitor Center as well as Shefflin's Hall, and it will be a block to our left after this corner. Both of them were untouched by our major fires. Second fire happened after the Earps left town for good on May 25th, 1882. That is the day 100 businesses burned. Now, one of them was on the left, the other side of that fence. That's where the Cosmopolitan Hotel stood with 2 stories and 80 rooms. Put the Earps and Holiday under house arrest there during the inquest over that gun battle on Fremont. And with Daddy Borland's eyewitness testimony, boys were found to be not responsible, which is a whole lot different than not guilty. On the right, Big Nose Gate Saloon and the J.L. Silver Company. Well, those 7 arches up there are all that's left of the Grand Hotel, where the Earps stayed when they got here. As for Big Nose...
I guess we're going to walk around some more. And some more, and some more. And some more. Hey, Chris. I just talked to some rangers. And don't worry, I wasn't in trouble. So I am staying out of trouble as much as I could.
There was one place where they had the movie, and I think it was on the 15th.
Here we are, we're just walking some more. I'm walking some more. Figure out where Chris went. But he went in here. Yep, he's in there. Yes, we're gonna walk back probably to the car.
Frozen yogurt.
I'm gonna sit down here for a bit. We're back in Tucson, and so it took us about an hour to get back from Tombstone. See, there's the Amazon warehouse. This is the road we get back on. Yes, we're about to come up to some airplane graveyard, where airplanes go and die.
That's where we went with Dad Rachel, right?
Yep. Yeah, so.
I didn't think Stud was going to make it through the day because he did a lot of walking.
Yeah, so here's some of the airplanes that they went to die. See their tails? Yeah, here we're just going underneath that underpass. We're in Tucson. Some dead airplanes. It's called the airplane bowling yard, I think. Ready. 7:51. I already got my shower. I'm already in my nightshirt, which means I am about ready to. I'm not gonna just winding down the evening. That's all. Just want to say I had an excellent day today. Went to Tombstone. Had a fun, amazing day. Then we came home, had dinner, and then I was watching some TV shows with family, and I came upstairs and get my shower. Now remember what to do. Keep in contact with your loved ones, family, friends. Instant messaging them, text messaging them, anything. Remember, if you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment down below what a beautiful Saturday you had. What else? Well, I guess I'll see you guys more later. I'm just tired, you know how that goes. Talk to you guys more later, and see you guys more later. I'm so like a broken record. I'll see you guys more tomorrow, and have a wonderful evening. Good night, everyone, and have a wonderful day tomorrow.